Are you bored of the same old music? Do you like it? Everything you need to know about punk music!
The term punk rock was originally used to describe garage musicians of the 60s. But the punk rock we know today was developed in the mid-70s. Punk bands created fast, hard-edged music, typically with short songs, stripped-down music, and with often political messages. Punk bands often started with no musical or vocal instruction and limited skill. Some of the first examples of punk rock were in New York. Bands like the Ramones, Johnny Thunders, the Heartbreakers, Blondie, and the Talking Heads. Eventually, though, these bands developed their own styles and moved away from the punk rock genre. Since these new bands did not know the rules of music, they could break them. Here is a montage of punk music.
Calling through the faraway towns. Now war is declared and battle come down. London. So you've been to school for a year or two and you know you've seen it all. That is coming and you'll go far back east. Your tide don't crawl. Play ethnic jazz to parade. Walking cheetah with a hat full of napalm. I'm a runaway son of the nuclear A-bomb. I am the world's forgotten boy.
As you can hear, punk music was loud, rebellious, and frankly, a bit weird. In this punk period, being nerdy was not an option.
Bye. By the beginning of the 1980s, faster, more aggressive styles such as hardcore and oi had become the predominant style of punk rock. The Ramones introduced punk to the UK in performances. Every band in the UK sped up. One of the first well-known punk bands in the UK were the Sex Pistols, the lead singer of which was Johnny Rotten. Punk bands had some rather random names, like the Flaming Groovies, the Stranglers, and Eddie and the Hot Rods. The Sex Pistols were an English punk rock band that formed in London in 1975. They were responsible for initiating the punk movement in the United Kingdom and inspiring many later punk and alternative rock musicians. Although their initial career lasted just 2.5 years and produced only 4 singles and 1 studio album, they are regarded as one of the most influential acts in the history of popular music. Their concerts repeatedly faced difficulties with organisers and authorities, and public appearances often ended in mayhem. In the early 60s, everyone was very relaxed. In the early to mid-70s, as the punk rock music became available, people started getting more edgy. In the late 70s, punk rock bands started performing, and these often were violent affairs. We hope you learned a lot about punk rock music, and I think you'll agree it's a tad crazy, but we all have a wild side. Rock on!
Jazz with the radio snares on your vibrant stereo. Bragging that you know how the niggas feel cold and the sun's got so